Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joe Naylor, and I proudly serve as the Chief of Community Relations here at the Madison VA. And we want to welcome all of you here today. Especially want to welcome the family of James, Jim, and all of the Purple Heart recipients that are here today. On behalf of everyone at the William S. Middleton Memorial Veterans Hospital, thank you for taking the time for being with us today as we observe National Purple Heart Day, unveil our Purple Heart Hall of Honor, and induct our inaugural member, Lance Corporal James Foseid. We especially want to thank James's family for being here once again. At this time, if you are able, please stand for the presentation of colors by the Wisconsin chapter of the Purple Heart Riders, followed by the national anthem sung by Madison VA employee Alicia McCanna.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Right, quick. Outward, march.
You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to welcome Chaplain Emily Hughes to provide today's invocation. Emily.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to thank you on behalf of Chaplain Services here for the opportunity to be a part of this celebration for today. So I will present the invocation. As we gather here today, we come to recognize Purple Heart Day and ask that we may be guided by a spirit of unity, appreciation, and celebration for the Purple Heart Day and for the induction into the Purple Heart Hall of Fame. We gather today to remember these historic events and the courageous acts done by all the Purple Heart recipients, including Lance Corporal James Foseid. We're thankful for his example and for all who have served in the military and those who received a Purple Heart. We are also thankful for this time where we can come together and honor all who served so selfless and courageous in the midst of difficulties during their time of service. We ask that this ceremony be a day of reflection, a remembrance, and of all renewal for all. May we remember the deeper meanings of this Purple Heart Day as we share in the fellowship with one another, and honor all Purple Heart recipients and Purple Heart recipient Lance Corporal James Foseid for all that they have done in their life. We celebrate Lance Corporal James Foseid and thank his family and all who are in attendance of this ceremony today. We ask all these things. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaplain. And now I'd like to introduce our Associate Director, Abe Rabinowitz, to the stage. Abe has been with the VA since 2000 and was appointed to the role of Associate Director in January of 2004. Mr. Rabinowitz.
All right, thank you, Joe. And thank you to the family and friends of our honoree, James Foseid, and all of the Purple Heart recipients who are in attendance today. Each year on August 7th, our nation recognizes Purple Heart recipients. The Purple Heart, one of the oldest military decorations, is presented to service members that were either injured or killed while serving our country. There are an estimated 1.8 million Purple Heart recipients. Some of them are living, working, and volunteering in our communities, and several of them are here today. Families of those lost remember their loved ones every day. And that is why it is so important for us to formally recognize them. This year we do so by inaugurating our Purple Heart Hall of Honor so that we can honor our local wounded combat veterans and to remind staff, volunteers, and visitors of the selfless sacrifices of so many. And Lance Corporal James Foseid is an individual well-deserving of our appreciation today. Having read his story, I was amazed at just how many times one person can escape so many life-threatening and near-death scenarios. His story encapsulates the courage, fortitude, and bravery of so many recognized with the honor of the Purple Heart. It is also important to know that James continues to give back through his service. He currently serves as the commander of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter 165, which has over 100 members and actively supports our hospital and Madison area veterans. Today we proudly honor James, celebrate the service of our living Purple Heart recipients, and remember the many who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Abe. As Abe just mentioned, every year on August 7th, the nation pauses to acknowledge the sacrifices made by the men and women of the United States military. At this time, we want to recognize all of the Purple Heart recipients that are here with us today. Please stand to be recognized when your name is called and remain standing. Please hold applause until the end of all the names. Patrick Dunn. Michael Calhammer. Timothy Lesage. Scott Crutchen. Gary Johnson. Melvin Gilbertson. Ronald Marchek. On behalf of all of us, thank you for your selfless service, your bravery, and most importantly, your sacrifice. Thank you. I would like to now turn our attention to today's honorary guest, Mr. James Foseid, Jim. To help tell Jim's story and to share his Purple Heart citation, I'd like to welcome his daughters, Andrea and Darcy, to the podium.
Hello. A lot of girls say that their father is their hero, and I was no exception. My dad is the most compassionate, loving, devoted, and patient human I've ever known. His commitment to his family is always his first priority, and he protects us to no end. His work ethic personally and professionally during his life has always been filled with passion and reliability. I'm extremely grateful for everything he has done for me, and most days I still believe that he can move mountains. I think that the military service instilled values and morals such as respect, honesty, and selflessness that my dad has carried with him throughout his life. He has always had so much courage, determination, and integrity. All of these qualities enabled my dad to be part of something bigger than himself from the beginning, and that made him a Marine. His strength and resilience inspire me every day. Throughout my life, he has taught me to work hard, never give up, stand up for what I believe in, and always tell the truth. In the toughest of times, my dad continues to say that mindset is everything and to stay positive. And he is right. Hope and a good attitude really can make a difference. I'm full of gratitude for these lessons that I've learned from him, and they still help me in my everyday life. To know my dad is to love him. He sees people for who they are, never passes judgment, and endlessly cares about everybody. The VA hospital is a very special place and was a beacon of hope a few summers ago when my dad had a major surgery. My family is very grateful for the care and support that the clinical team provided at that time. We are so lucky to have this facility in our own backyard. Thank you to all the veterans for your service. The Purple Heart is the oldest and most recognizable award of the U.S. military, and your courage and sacrifice will never be forgotten. Thank you, Dad, for being there every step of the way and your guidance and love. Thank you for making growing up fun. I love talking to you and being with you and learning from you. You are the greatest dad in the world, and I'm so proud to be your daughter. To one of the most faithful people I know, Semper Fi, Dad. Five years ago, I had the privilege to accompany my dad as guardian on the Badger Honor Flight. To say that that day was anything less than a miracle, I would be amiss. During that flight on the way home, there's something for those that aren't familiar called mail call. And that is when people write letters from home and the veteran on the flight back reads those letters. Today I'd like to read the letter that I wrote to my dad. My dearest Papa, how do I even begin to describe the love, the admiration, the gratitude that I have for you? You have been a steadfast presence of light, happiness, and safety my entire life. From the time I was a little girl, your patience, quiet notion of complete understanding, and unwavering devotion has guided me, supported me, and created my vision for the person I want to be. You have taught me to value family and to always make the right choice, even when it isn't the popular one. You have shown me that love is being strong and humble, courageous and compassionate, empathic and forgiving, but also remaining resolute in the respect that I have for myself. You have taught me that character and integrity are of utmost importance, and that you can tell a lot about a person by the way they handle three things: lost luggage, a rainy day, and tangled fishing line. You would handle all with your contagious optimism and say, look on the bright side. I try to live each day the way that you do. You, Dad, have been right by my side in all of my memories, never faltering and putting my happiness and well-being first. cheering for Ani and I at swim meets and soccer games, encouraging us in all of our endeavors, wiping away our tears when we left you for the first time for college, walking us down the aisle, sharing in happiness when we got engaged and when our daughters were born. No matter what, you have been there, and you have given me purpose and meaning in all that I do. Special times spent together, especially our Canada trips, 23 and counting, always leave me feeling refreshed, motivated, and a little bit smarter. You have such an aura of positivity, always striving to leave people better than they were before. I want you to know that I remember everything. Being tucked in at night, running to your bed during a thunderstorm, playing Sister, Sister with Ani on the floor in the basement, going over the green-handled bridge 100 times and packing in the Woody van to go on family vacations, sleeping with your t-shirts away, Sunday afternoons at Denny's in a movie, and long, long talks on the boat. I remember every trip, every conversation, every display of overwhelming love you have shown me. I remember it all because it will live in my heart forever. And because of you, I have learned that when life puts you in tough situations, you don't say, "Why me?" but instead, "Try me." It is this mantra that I can only imagine got you through the depths of trepidation that was Vietnam. I would be hard-pressed to find most people who could truly understand what you went through during your time there. I know it was as close to the gates of hell as one can get. The experiences spoken about in your memoir, while horrific, are also harrowing in that they demonstrate the true person we all know you to be: courageous, brave, strong in the face of adversity, loyal, and fiercely patriotic. But even more extraordinary is the courage you exhibited and the camaraderie and love you showed your fellow soldiers. Undoubtedly, they felt safer, better, that everything would turn out okay as long as you were with them, just as I feel every day of my life with you as my dad. And so, to be with you today for such an important, monumental, deserving reason is one of the greatest honors of my life. Thank you, Dad, for your dedication and service to our country and for coming home to us. We are the lucky ones, and I've never been more proud to be your daughter. I will now read the Purple Heart citation. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America has awarded the Purple Heart, established by General George Washington at Newburgh, New York, August 7, 1782, to Private First Class James W. Foseid, United States Marine Corps, for wounds received in action on the 12th of March, 1968, in the Republic of Vietnam. Given under my hand in the city of Washington this 6th day of March 2007, signed General Michael Hagee, U.S. Marine Corps.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Darcy. Ready, Jim? Not yet. Just making sure you're ready. All right. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the inaugural inductee of the Madison VA Purple Heart Hall of Honor, and my new phone a friend when I have a fishing knot, Mr. James Foseid. Jim.
Wow. I don't know if you all know, but I grew up not too far from here, about 5 blocks up on Summit Avenue, middle child of 9 kids. My dad was a thoracic surgeon at Dean Hospital, and went to Catholic grade school, Blessed Sacrament, and West High School, and met my wife in my junior year, and then went on to join the Marine Corps and going to Vietnam, or going to the Marine Corps in mid-September 1968. So let me tell you a few things. I want to thank, for sure, the number one VA, this VA in the United States for this honor recognition. This VA was voted number one for very good reason. They're all incredibly helpful, caring, and professionally astute to our medical needs. I want to recognize Joseph Naylor, especially. He's responsible for all of this, and he's done just a magnificent job. We're lucky to have him. I also want to honor the Chapter 165 Military Order Purple Heart. We have 105 wounded warriors, and I just want to know that they are in my heart, and appreciation for all that they've done being in the service. I want to thank my wonderful daughters, Andrea and Darcy. They've been the love of my life for over 45 years. They are accomplished professionals. Andrea is a pharmaceutical accountant manager. Darcy is a master's nurse practitioner, MSN, FNP, BC, AP, NP. Wonder what that is. I don't know, but I bet it's good. I would also like to thank Bob Jingles and Sarah Triplin for their incredible 35 years. Of support. Every time a military subject comes up, they're the first to brag about my military efforts. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Sarah, from the bottom of my heart. And Steve and Angie Nash. Steve and I grew up in the same neighborhood. We went to the same high school. He fought in the Army in the Central Highlands of Vietnam in 1969. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Angie. And I also want to thank the love of my life for the last 58 years, Marla. She's been the best person I could ever ask for. As for myself, being commander of Chapter 165 of the Purple Heart, this award also recognizes our chapter's 105 soldiers wounded in combat during their service to our country. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Chapter 165. This award is vitally important to all service members that have given the blood and lives in the service of their country. I personally thank you all. I first got to Vietnam in January 1968 with 208 other soldiers as a 0331 M60 machine gunner. 8 of us went to 8 different units. 200 of us went to 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines. A tour of duty in Vietnam lasted 13 months, and then you rotated back to the United States. I was in a chow line, my only hot meal in Vietnam that I ever had, and a rotating lieutenant came up to me in line and asked me what unit I was chosen for. I told him. He puts his hand on my shoulder and says, "Son, you need to write home and tell everybody how much you love them." He says, 200 of you are replacing soldiers killed or wounded in the last 60 days. Your unit is referred to as a horizontal unit because that's the only way anyone leaves that unit. Dead, wounded, or sick. And he was right. We lost, in the first 5 months, 576 of our 1,000 men. I was wounded 2 times and contracted a deadly case of malaria and spent 6 weeks in the hospital in Japan. During the first 3 months in Vietnam, we were occupying a small hill 3 miles south of Da Nang. It was a 10-foot high half-acre mound of dirt right out in the middle of the rice paddies. They ironically called it Hill 10. From there, we would do patrols every 4 hours. We were asked to one day we were asked to go and help a South Vietnamese unit that had been surrounded in a religious pagoda. A religious pagoda is obviously where they go and pray, and they're a 4-foot wall, maybe 100 feet wide and 150 feet long. We entered the corner, the southeast corner of this pagoda, and I saw a wounded South Vietnamese soldier, and I ran up to help him. He had been shot through the legs, and I was shot in the heart by a sniper. And I want to tell you, lucky. You can't get any luckier than this. You all know what a magazine of bullets looks like. The tip of this bullet hit the bottom left seam and split it open, ricocheted off the back of the magazine, cut up all the rounds, and stuck in the last round right underneath my chin. I mean, you can't get any luckier than that. A millionth of an inch either way, and it had gone right through my heart. I picked the soldier up and dragged him over to the 4-foot wall, and we fought from there. Some 40 years later, I wrote one memoir called Lucky Lucky Man times 12. I have 3 of them up there that if you would like one, go ahead and take one. If anybody else wants me to send them by email, I can certainly do that. Just give Joe your email address and I'd be happy to. But what they show is, I was awarded the Ivan Bronze Star First Class for helping that soldier in that pagoda. But you can't get any luckier. Just a couple. I survived a helicopter crash that crashed down on me and my foxhole buddy. It was a loss. We were burning grass and it lost lift. And it hit me, hit my uniform as I dove into the bomb crater. But unfortunately, my buddy jumped in, and it didn't work out well for him. I've been shot in the head, in the helmet, blown off. I've been shot through the jacket 7 times. I've had a hand grenade explode 2 feet from me and survived them all. Lucky, lucky man times 12. And the rest of them are in the memoir book. I know I've spoken to many of you at one time or another about these experiences in Vietnam, and I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for your unequivocal support and healing thoughts. You are just the best. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
All right, we'll head over to the unveiling. All right. Marla, if I could have you join Jim and Abe up on stage, please. Okay. Now don't, just wait now. Wait till you get to... All right. All right. Thank you, Jim, for those remarks and your honesty and transparency. All right, so once again, everyone please stand if you are able. Thank you. Thank you. While serving in the United States Marine Corps, Lance Corporal James Foseid, I'm going to get it right, Jim, distinguished himself in his time of service. He has been recognized for extraordinary heroism, outstanding performance of duty and action against enemy forces in the Republic of Vietnam. During his service, he demonstrated exceptional bravery in the face of adversity and an unwavering dedication to duty. The valiant fighting spirit, perseverance, selfless service displayed by James reflected great credit upon himself, the Marine Corps, and was in the highest traditions of the United States military. It is our honor here at the Madison VA to formally induct Lance Corporal James Foseid into the William S. Middleton Memorial Veterans Hospital Purple Heart Hall of Honor. You may gently remove the cloth. James's display will be the first plaque placed in the Purple Heart Hall of Honor. The Purple Heart Hall of Honor will be permanently located on the first floor of the main VA hospital next to the patient lab and just past the STAR elevators. We would like to thank Marla, Jim, and James's family for being with us today. Additionally, we would like to thank the members of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter 165, and the Wisconsin chapter of the Purple Heart Riders. Thank you for taking the time for being with us today. And thank you for all the staff and guests that also came to join us today and support Jim. It was an honor to host, and it's an honor to know Jim and his family. So thank you, friend.
Thank you all very much.
Yep. Thank you. This concludes the formal ceremony. If you'd like to come up and take pictures, you're more than welcome to do so with Jim and his family. Applications and nominations for the Hall of Heroes as well as the Purple Heart Hall of Honor will be ready and available shortly and available on the PERC as online. And if you have any questions about anything Purple Heart Hall of Honor, please just email us and we'll answer your questions. So thank you all again. Drive safely.
This is great. Thank you.